So let's begin. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Dishatari Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pratarini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Dishatari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Bhaj Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Bhaj Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Shila Prabhupada. Nitai Jagda Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Ram Sankirtan Yajna ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, dear devotees, for joining. I know it's a busy day, but still you all have come. So very grateful to all of you. Thank you so much. So we'll continue study from Srimad Bhagavatam, and let's begin with Mangalacharan before we get into that. ॐ अज्ञानतिर्मन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nidinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paichatya Deshakarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we'll continue study from Srimad Bhagavatam, and we are studying from Canto number 1, and we are studying in chapter number 13. So anybody remembers what's the name of the chapter? This we are almost like we are meeting after a month for this, right? Because 3 weeks have passed. Huh? No, Parishit Maharaj is already. Dhritarashtra quits. Yes, very nice. Dhritarashtra quits home. So that's the chapter today. So before we begin, let me offer the prayer. So all, as it says, Runota Sada Mritya means we are always indebted to society. So I am. And therefore, whatever I learn, what I teach, whatever I study, what I hear, I just want to share with all of you. Hare Krishna. And further to that, whatever is going to be displayed here and speaking, nothing is mine. Everything is coming from Srila Prabhupada's purport and the commentaries of our acharyas. So if there is any glories, that may go to them, but if there is any mistake, that may be solely mine. So please forgive me. And I request all of you to please pray for me and bless me so I can speak some nice word which is soothing to our heart and increase our bhakti toward Krishna. So Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam apavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna. So let's quickly recap, because if the chapter name itself is difficult to recall, then we should know what all we have discussed so far, right? So we'll quickly do a recap. So yeah. So we saw earlier the Parikshit Maharaj birth was described in the previous chapter. And now Vidur is coming back. So Vidur is going to give some instruction to Dhritarashtra. So here are the section that we are trying to cover. We'll try to cover 1 or 2 sections. Let's see, we have started from verse number 8 today. Let us see how much we can progress. So Vidura is now in the first 7 verses. That's what we saw last time, that he is returning to Hastinapur, come back to his home. Right? And he has been on a pilgrimage. When the war was about to begin, he quit and he went. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. The war was about to begin, that time he quit. Right? What did Duryodhan say to him? Anybody knows? Yeah, but he still told him any further why he quit. Of course, Dasiputra was one. He told him that whatever good you have done, because of that, we will leave you only the breath in your body and leave you. Means you can go, but you have nothing from here. That's how he was sent back. So this is how what happens when people become blind by pride of power, pride of position, pride of wealth, pride of anything that they have. They become very proud and they insult others. And in that way, eventually they ruin themselves. So this pride is very dangerous. As they say in English, what they say? Pride comes before the fall, right? So when you're proud, you'll see that you're someday you're going to fall down. So that's how it is. So yeah, so first 2 shloka talks about Vidur comes back, right? And then it talks about that he was insulted and then he was sent. That's what is a little history is Sudha Goswami is giving here. So everybody gets to know He was insulted and then he goes and he quits home. And then he comes back, right? And then he meets a Maitreya Muni where discussion happens. In fact, more discussion will come later in the third and fourth canto. Are the full two cantos are dedicated to this discussion. Maitreya Muni and Vidur's discussion is there in third and fourth canto. So very long discussion happens between them. And then we talked about his welcoming, he's being welcomed. They are so happy that Vidur has come back, isn't it? When someone who we love, and we become so overwhelmed, oh, he has come. Like Vikaso's mother has come. So their family and everybody's kids are very happy. Oh, Dadi has come, and they are so happy all the time, right? The moment they know that Dadi is coming, when they are coming, when will you go to airport? So what time is coming? All this question comes up because there is a love. There is a love. This is what is important because love only binds us. It's not a biological relationship that binds us. In biological relation also there are so many problems are there. But only when there is love, then the love binds. Even between a non-biological people like devotees, there is love. So they are even closer than the relatives, isn't it? So this is love that binds. So here Vidur having so much love, and similarly Pandav had so much love for Vidur. And therefore, and we saw that when we become happy, when some people bring happiness wherever they go, and some people bring happiness whenever they go. When they go and say, chalo, it's good, Haribo, he's gone. So now let's have party. So we should try to be in the number one category, right? That wherever you go, people should happy. And they should be happy that okay, you're calm. All those things should be there, right? So we should try to do this in our life. So this can happen, and we will see in today's discussion that how we can be like this. Because Prabhupada writes very nice purports in the 10th and 11th verses. He gives very beautiful points. We'll try to meditate on that. Because these points are something that if we imbibe, then we can make our life perfect. Many times people ask, what is the meaning of taking shelter of Bhagavatam? Take shelter of Bhagavatam. What exactly is it? Like, should I keep reading and all that? It's not like that. Of course, you should read because then only we understand what is there in Bhagavatam. We can take shelter. Taking shelter of Bhagavatam that Gaurang Darshan Prabhu described in a class very nicely, he was mentioning. He was mentioning that taking shelter of Bhagavatam means those who have absorbed Bhagavatam and whatever instruction they give, we should follow that. For example, our Guru Maharaj, he is giving an instruction. From where he is getting instruction? From Bhagavatam, from scripture. So their instruction, if we follow, that means we have taken shelter of Bhagavatam. When we take shelter of a Bhagavat, like for Guru or Prabhupada, then we have taken shelter of Bhagavatam. It is not that, because there are so many things which are described in Bhagavatam, we may not be able to do it. Like Dhruv Maharaj, he went at age of 5 and did so much austerity in 6 months. Can we do it? No. So we cannot imitate certain things which are there. So that is not taking shelter of Bhagavatam. Taking shelter means following the instruction of our Guru. Teachings of Shastra, implementing that in our life, that is taking shelter of Bhagavatam. So that is what we should try to do, right? Then after that, we saw the different characteristics of various queens like Draupadi, Gandhari, Kunti, all these things we saw, and how much jealousy can impact. We saw that, right? And then we also talked about the insult that happens, and then how dangerous it is when you're insulted. So therefore, we should not insult anyone. If you don't like someone, we should separate peacefully and pleasingly, not insulting anyone. That can be very dangerous. Even in material life. Material life, it is even more dangerous. Right? The road rage happens in America because of this only. You honk loudly and he doesn't like it. And then there's road rage which happens. So we have to be very careful. Just ignore them. Just be pleasing. If you look into somebody's eyes in America also, you should not look into somebody's eyes. They feel like threatened, something like that. And various things happen in different countries. But insult is a very general thing. But we should not do that to anyone, even if you don't like someone. Right? So when we saw so many examples that had happened, like Jayadratha had insulted and how we made sure that Abhimanyu was murdered, not killed, murdered. right? Then Duryodhan was insulted, Ashwasthama was insulted. All this insult created a big problems, right? So we should avoid that. Then he was welcome, and he was welcome in such a way that they regain their consciousness. It's such a nice thing to know. When people are very distressed, when you have somebody pleasing personality coming in your home, you feel so good. Oh, Prabhu, you came so nice, and then we spend some time, and it feels very rejuvenated, right? So that's what happens here. Then they show so much affection with Vidur ji, Mahatma Vidur, and that's what happens. Very nice reception is given to him. And what did he learn? As soon as somebody comes, we should not keep asking questions, right? We should let him rest, take some food, to give him some prasad, let them take bath, and then let them take rest. And then once they are back, then we can ask questions. And normally say, no, we want to ask question. We should let them rest. They have just come. So those things we learn, right? So now we are going to enter into the next. This is a discussion happening between Yudhishthira and Vidur. Now Vidurji has rested. Now Yudhishthira is now going to talk to him. So what is the discussion? Very nice discussion happened, and we should see that. So Yudhishthira Maharaj recollecting the past times, past that how Vidurji helped them in so many ways, right? So can somebody tell? I know it will come, but I'm asking question. What are the way the Vidurji protected or helped Pandavas, all the kids? Then we'll go to elders. How did Vidurji protected Pandavas? Anybody knows? Huh? Huh? Yeah, that is one. What other things? Okay, no problem. We'll go further and we'll study that as it comes. Okay, so let us recite this verse. Yeah, what's number 8? Yudhishthira Uvacha Api Smararthano Yusmat Paksha Chaya Samedhitan Vipat Gunat Vishagnader Mochitayat Samatruka. Yes, Mahi, can you read translation, beta?
Maharaj
Yudhishthira
said, "My uncle, do you remember how you always protected us along with our mother from all sorts of calamities, partially like the wings of a bird save us from poisoning ourselves."
Hare Krishna, thank you. So, if you see, this example is very nicely given. When the bird wants to protect the children, what she does, she brings them under her wings, like protecting, giving them a shelter. Very nice. Long ago, I have seen one video. Somebody sent to me that how mother, basically the mother nature was being on Mother's Day. They sent me of a bird. So there's a big caterpillar machine. Caterpillar, big, huge machines are there. So it was going in some place, and they're so huge that underneath even a person can stand. And machine can pass over them. It's so huge. So there's a bird which had a laid eggs under, in that path, and the caterpillar machine was going. She just spread her wings as soon as the machine came near, and the machine passed, and she was protected. So basically, it shows how mother is affectionate and to save their children. So here, example is given like that. That Vidurji spread his wings of protection and brought Pandavas under that and protected from what? From arson, from burning of that Lakshagra, and from poisoning. When the Duryodhan would poison the food and give it to him, he will tell Pandavas, you just this is got poison, be careful, don't eat. Like that, he will tell them in advance. So they were protected. So that's what it is mentioned here. So let's read in a purport what Prabhupada says. So Prabhupada says in the purport, so all the translation of purport by our beloved Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So especially when there is a calamity, what is the benefit of calamity? When calamity occurs, what happens? What benefit do you get?
We become more resilient.
Okay, we become more resilient. That's what is higher than that. That's good. That is correct. But what is higher?
Or we start praying to God, like
Okay, we start praying to God. Okay, that's also what is higher than that? It's higher. However, in Shastra we read, right? Ramadara iha bahya or kaho.
Surrender.
Surrender, yes. So what next? Higher level, higher. Iha bahya. Yes.
more purified.
Yeah, it purifies. It purifies.
Faith,
Faith increases, yes.
yeah, your faith.
But we get something. What do we get?
Shelter.
We get mercy of devotees. Suddenly, Bhagavad will say, pray for us, they will protect and all that. Like Radhanasai Maharaj, our Gurudev. He normally some devotee is leaving the body, Maharaj won't be there everywhere. But in some devotee who are having, cancer and their Maharaj is there, Maharaj will go there. So he's going through so much problem and Maharaj will be there to at his last time. Such a nice thing, isn't it? So they get mercy like that, special mercy, when some calamity happens in our life. So the senior Vaishnavas can bless us. They pray for us. Okay, for your protection. So this is very high because without Vaishnavas' mercy, we cannot do anything. Right? Like the example given, I don't know who gave, Amrita Prabhu gave. He was mentioning that even if we get the foot dust of Krishna on our head, even if we see Krishna face to face, we still will not be delivered if we don't get Krishna's mercy. Like in case of Kalia, Krishna was dancing in hood and his feet were on his head. He was able to see Krishna.
It was hurting.
Huh?
Was it hurting?
Of course, it was hurting Kalia. Kalia was vomiting blood because of that. It was so heavy. So, but Kalia did not get mercy of Krishna until the Nagapatnis, they prayed to Krishna, please leave him. Then he got mercy. So unless Vaishnavas pray for us, no mercy. Even if you take dust from Krishna, even if you take Tulsi, no mercy will come. Therefore, Vaishnavas are so important in our life that they should pray for us. Therefore, whenever we see any Vaishnava, we say, Prabhuji, please pray for me. Please pray for me. And if somebody requests, we should also pray for them. Prayer, Krishna listens to prayer. Either person is pure or impure, prayer or prayer. If they are done with the right intention, Krishna will listen to those prayers. So that these things are happen. We get a lot of mercy of senior devotees and Vaishnavas. So calamities are we should welcome. That's what Kunti Maharani says. Let there be more calamities. So I remember you all the time. I mean, we are not in that position to request. We get small calamity and we are finished. Right? So we are not in that position, but this is what we can learn from that. So in a purport, this is a long purport. We'll read some important points here. So Prabhupada is writing that Pandu was left his body at very early age when Pandu was very young, and they naturally came under the shelter of Dhritarashtra. Now Dhritarashtra was anyway envious. He never wanted Yudhishthira to become a king, and so he was always playing a lot of tricks. And we know the history that Yudhishthira was born before Duryodhana, so naturally he has to become a king. But Duryodhana always wanted, and Dhritarashtra also did not want Yudhishthira to become a king. He was so attached to his sons that he wanted his son only to become king. And that was his problem. He knew that his son is not qualified. And Maharaj Yudhishthira was more qualified than Duryodhana. But still, he wanted because of this attachment. Sometimes as a parent, we also do. We have so much attachment that some mistakes of our children, we ignore it. We should correct it at the right time. So we can avoid the big calamity in life. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, and some important points are mentioned here. See, Vidur was very neutral. He was not like a bias to Pandavas. It looks like he is biased, but he was very neutral, right? So he always chastised Duryodhana. Always that you are doing wrong, you should not do this. Always he will tell him, no, this is not correct. You can never do to your cousins. He will chastise. He will also tell Dhritarashtra that what you are doing is not correct. You know, that what are you doing? You are encouraging your own son to do all these things. Like when gambling happened, he chastised him so much that what are you doing? You are a king. You should be taken stance. Without you, how can Duryodhan take the decision? You are a king. You are an authority. Why did you not do that? And third, he was also always alerting the Pandavas and protecting them. He was not himself like very powerful, like his weapons, nothing of that sort. But he had an intelligence. He was out of three brothers. He was the most intelligent person, most intelligent and wise. And the wise is very important. He was very wise. So therefore, he will always tell all the Pandavas beforehand, something is going to happen. Be careful. So now one quiz will come. Okay. So I'm going to read one paragraph from here, which I have written here. Somebody has to read and tell me. So Rishit, can you read this and tell me what it means, or anybody can tell? Go ahead.
Even a weapon not made of steel or any other material element can be more than sharp enough to kill an enemy. And he who knows this is never killed.
Okay. So what is this? This is not a weapon. He says weapon not made of steel. Normally weapons are made of steel, right? A sword and all that, but it is not made of steel and or any other material element. But it can be more sharp. Hare Krishna, please come. Hare Krishna, please come. So you can come here, Mataji. Yeah, a lot of space, you can see this. Yeah. So what is this weapon? Huh?
The mind,
The mind? Okay, mind. Somebody saying mind. What else?
conspiracy,
Conspiracy is, yeah, is created in the mind. What else?
Your knowledge.
Huh?
Your knowledge.
Knowledge, okay.
Your word, like
Word, speech, okay.
thought.
Thought, okay. All this. But in connection to Pandava's case, what is this weapon? Huh?
Unity.
No, they are harming the Pandava. But what is this weapon? We are talking about something which is going to harm Pandava. What is that?
and being enmity,
Huh?
jealousy.
No, it's like a weapon. Means it can you if you are aware of that, you won't kill. It's a weapon, but you won't see a weapon as a weapon.
Poison.
No, poison.
Animosity,
Huh? The Mata is all used every day in the kitchen.
knife,
No, it's made of steel, Mataji. What else do you use for cooking? The fire.
Fire.
See what happened when Prabhupada writes here in a purport when Shivratri was there. So in a place called Varnavrat, the Dhritarashtra made one palace, very beautiful palace, but it was made of all wood. Even the painting was added ghee and oil and that, so it can be very flammable, highly flammable, right? And he said, "You stay there for 1 month. We'll celebrate Shivratri for 1 month." It's a very beautiful. So it was very amazingly beautiful palace. Pandava were very innocent. They had never even thought in their mind that something like this will happen. But Vidur knew. Vidur came to this is a conspiracy in which they all will be burnt alive. That was the plan. So Vidur spoke to Yudhishthira Maharaj in a local language, local tribal language, which only Yudhishthira Maharaj knew, nobody else knew. And Vidur knew. Because Vidur knew because he will mingle with those villagers and all that. So, like Yudhishthira Maharaj, he would also meet them. So they spoke a language nobody understood. Everybody was present, but nobody understood what Vidur told. And then him and everybody, what did uncle told? Tell me. Said, okay, I'll tell you. Let's go. Okay. So as soon as he went in the Varnavrat and this palace, Yudhishthira Maharaj told Bhim, he dug the tunnel. Let's make the tunnel immediately. So they created a tunnel. And the day, one lady and the 5 men came, the tribal people, and they were given that you should go and take shelter and outside, and then in the night you burn it. So then Yusuf Maharaj came to know, okay, this is big conflict. Tonight is the night, something is going to happen. So he told, let's all escape. And before that, they only set the palace on fire. They put the palace on fire and they went. And this 5 men and 1 woman, the mother, they all drunk. They are drunken and all that. They were sleeping out and they all got burnt out. So next day morning, Duryodhan and Dhritarashtra came to know. They found the 6 bodies completely charred. So they saw Pandavas were gone. They were rejoicing, happy, and they never knew, and they all have escaped. So this is how the Dhritarashtra had a plan to kill them, but Vidur was able to protect Pandavas. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is so much showing gratitude that how much you have done for us. So one thing that we should learn from this is we should always be grateful for a little help that somebody has done in our life. Very, very important. Otherwise, our life will become very proud. Everything is done by me. I have done it. So, can somebody give me an example that there is a person called Narendra Malik? What is Srila Prabhupada always glorifies him? There is a person called Narendra Malik. So, what did Narendra Malik do to Srila Prabhupada that he glorified him? Anybody knows? What did Narendra Malik do to Srila Prabhupada that Prabhupada glorifies him? How many of you remember who brought you to Krishna consciousness? Like somebody gave you a book, somebody gave you prasad. You remember that person? You always be grateful to that person, right? So Narendra Malik was the one who took Abhay Babu at that time. Prabhupada was Abhay Babu at that time. To Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's association, first time. So Prabhupada always remembered that somebody took me there, I would have never known otherwise. So he's always very grateful to Narendra Malik. And then he took me, and because of that, I have got this. So you'll never forget. So similarly, we should never forget somebody who has done some good thing to us. We should always show kritagyata. Very important. Kritagyata is a very, very, being grateful is a very important virtue that we can possess. Being ungrateful is the worst thing that one can have in their life. Being ungrateful. Showing no gratitude for something that somebody has done is something which is very worst. It can happen because of many reasons. We have ego, we have jealousy, we have envy. We don't show gratitude, but this is the quality that we should develop. Because this is the one quality which will keep us humble. That we don't feel that I'm doing on my own, somebody is helping me, so I'm doing it. Right? So this is a very important quality that we all should try to develop. So that's what it is there. Now, after discussing, showing the gratitude, he's asking, how about your travel? Where all you go? Because he was on a pilgrimage, so Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking, where all did you go? So let us read what is the point coming up here. Kaya vritya vartitam vas charadvikshiti mandalam तीर्थानि क्षेत्र मुख्यानि सेवितानि भूतले. Akshat, can you read it?
While traveling on the surface of the earth, how did you maintain your livelihood? At which holy places and pilgrimage sites did you render your service?
Hare Krishna, thank you. So obviously he went on a pilgrimage. So question is, which all places did you go? Like some of us go to Vrindavan or India. They said, did you go to Vrindavan? Oh, no, I couldn't go. I went to Mayapur. Hey, yeah, Mayapur is also Dham only. Where did you go in Mayapur? Then we ask questions. Did you take darshan of Radha Madhavji? They say, yes, yes. Yeah, very nice. Why? Because we all want to know that what all has happened in that town. So Here, Yudhishthira Maharaj is obviously asking this question. And Prabhupada writes very nice points here. So Prabhupada writes, Vidur went out from the palace to detach himself from household affairs, especially political intrigues. As referred to herein before, he was practically insulted by Duryodhana by calling him son of Shukran. That's what some of you mentioned that he went out, right? That's what we saw the picture where he goes out because he was insulted. So here Prabhupada writes a very important point, and for all of us to introspect, especially me, I need to introspect on this. Vidur's mother, although Ashudrani, was a grandmother of Duryodhana, because obviously his uncle's mother is his grandmother. That's how it is, right? And sometimes the grandmother and the grandchild, they will have funny discussions sometimes, which is fine. It's perfectly all right, right? But here, because the remark was an actual fact, it was unpalatable talk to Vidur, and it was accepted as a direct insult to Vidur. So here we should understand that how should we speak? We should very important point which is there, and there are 2-3 points which are there in Bhagavad Gita. Also, Krishna tells that we should be very careful about how we speak. Right in the 17th chapter, Krishna says, "Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priya hitam chaya swadhyaya vyasanam chaiva vanamayam tapa uchyate." Yes. Abha, can you read better?
Austerity of speech consists in speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting Vedic literature.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So here 3 important points are mentioned, right? One is that our word should not agitate others' mind. That is first. Second, we should speak the truth. And speak the truth in which way? In a palatable, pleasing way. Right? So 3 things. Truth must be spoken, but in a pleasing way, and it should be such that it should not agitate somebody's listener's mind. So this is what Krishna is telling, that what is the austerity of speech? This is the austerity of speech. We say we want to do austerity and all that. Yes, there are body level. This is a speech level. It's very important. If our speech is agitating somebody else, then even if it is truthful, even if it is truth, it has no value, right? So we should try to practice this in our lives. This is so important because the way we speak can make or break our relationship in a personal life, even in material life. The way you speak with the customers, the way you speak with your colleagues in office, right? Or you go to any shop and you buy something. All this matters or not. You speak very nicely, pleasingly word, and then you do something. Like whenever I go to Vivek Flowers, I buy some flower garland, and I say, "Ma, this is too expensive. Please do. I keep buying this." And say, "Okay, I'll give you one free." $16 flower garland she'll give me free, and she has done many times. So how you speak, I'm not trying to boast myself, but I keep buying. So she knows that I'm a regular buyer. From that point, she might be doing. And I tell her, hey, you should keep the customer happy. They will be loyal to you. I'll keep sales talk. And she said, no, I can't give you this, but I will give you this. Like that. So point is that if we are speaking pleasingly, then we can move the mountains. By speaking nicely, we can get things done very easily. Right? So that is what we should do. Then, in fact, in Manusmriti, this point comes in. Satyam bruyat priyam bruyan. Bruyat satyam priyam. Nandrunam bruyat. Esha dharma sanatana. Yes. Kavish, where is Kavish? He's in picnic camp? Okay. All right, no problem. So who's left?
Priyan's left.
Priyansh.
Yeah.
Priyansh, please read.
He shall say what is true, and he shall say what is agreeable. He shall not say what is true, but disagreeable. Nor shall he say what is agreeable, but untrue. This is the eternal law. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, Satyam Priya, Priyam Priya. Tell the truth, but in a pleasing way. Right? Even if it is true, don't tell that in unpleasing way. This is the essence of this. Even if you're telling the truth, we should be not telling in an unpleasing way. Even if you don't like someone, nicely we should. और हिंदी में कहा होता है ना वो क्या बोलता है शाल में लपेट के जूता मारना है so it doesn't feel like somebody hit me.
Oh, this is coming from where? Which scripture?
Manusmriti. Manusmriti. This is written by Manus. So it's coming from there. So even in nectar instruction, first thing that is being told, what is that? Vacho Vedam. First thing. First instruction of nectar of instruction is Vacho Vedam. Control the speech, austere. Such an important. This means this is so important. Like first thing in an instruction, if first thing is being told means how important that is, isn't it? So we can see how important this speech is that we should try to control, and that's what happened here. Duryodhan was not able to control his speech and tongue, and therefore he insulted Vidur. And then we know the history. So let's further see what is being told. So Prabhupada writes that when Vidur left, he went to the various holy places in pilgrimage, right? And he says in the holy places in India, like Vrindavan, Haridwar, Jagannath Puri, and Prayag, there are many great devotees, and there are still free kitchen houses for persons who desire to advance spiritually. So in many dham, especially when we went to Vrindavan, a lot of free food is offered, and it's all nice. It's not like don't feel they are not so good. They're good prasadam being served. For the sadhus who are doing only bhajan, they have nobody else in their lives, so they need to maintain their body. So they need some prasad. So they will come in the morning, take prasad, and then go back and do their bhajan. So very nice devotees. Like we went to Radhakund. There is a devotee called Balram Prabhu. He runs his kitchen and he feeds only to sadhus, not like beggars and all that. No, only sadhus who are doing bhajan who have no time to cook, but they need nice prasad. So they all are fed. And we had a good fortune that we were able to dare and serve the devotees on that day. It was such a nice because everybody come with their small vessel, like and then we put it in that, they take it. And it's like 2-3 items only. It's not like feast. It's like one sabji roti. That's it. And they'll be happy. And they'll come every day and do this. So many people do this. So what happens that those who want to do pilgrimage, they have no money. They can go to these places and still survive. So Vidur would have survived, and that's what Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking. That did you survive on these things? Right? Because here he says, Maharaj Yudhishthira was inquisitive to learn whether Vidur maintained himself by the mercy of the free kitchen houses. So we should also try when we go into dham, wherever these bona fide or authentic kitchens are being run, we can do some donation there, right? It's nice because that way, through our Lakshmi, the sadhus are being fed. So it is very nice service that we can do, especially in the dham. Then further inquires about the travels. Let's read what it says. So this is a very important verse, dear devotees. Please pay attention. If you want to memorize, this is a verse to memorize also. Bhagavad Gita Bhagavata. Sorry. Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatas. Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho. Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani. Swantasthena Gadaprita. Can you please read, Mara?
Yep. My Lord, devotees like your good self are verily holy places personified. Because you carry the personality of Godhead within your heart, you turn all places into places of pilgrimages.
Thank you. So this is such an important thing. This is a glorification of the devotees. Devotees always carry the Krishna in their heart. So in a purport, Prabhupada writes some important points, and we should try to understand, especially because all of us have desire to go to Dham. We would have gone also. But here it is teaching that when we go next time, what should be our consciousness? What should we do? That Prabhupada is giving that very important instruction. Because when we go to Dham, it is not about seeing temple and how many Mangala Arati we attended, whether we take dip in Yamuna or Ganga and Radha Kund, Sham Kund. Did we do all this? We did Parikrama. Of course, these are important things, no doubt about it, but these are not the only thing. There are much higher things that we can do beyond this. That's what Prabhupada is saying. So we read what Prabhupada is mentioning here. A pure devotee like Vidur always feels the presence of the Lord everywhere. So like this, who else felt presence of the Lord everywhere like Vidur?
Prahlad Maharaj.
Yes, Prahlad Maharaj. You see everywhere. Hiranyakashipu couldn't see, but Prahlad Maharaj, yes, was able to see, yes. Is he in this pillar? Yes, he's in this pillar. He's everywhere. He has so much faith. And because of that, the Lord manifested from there. Because the pure devotee say that he's here, so the Lord has to come. That's what he came from the pillar. Prabhupada further writes, the holy places all over the earth are meant for purifying the polluted consciousness of the human being by an atmosphere surcharged with the presence of the Lord's unalloyed devotees. So Dham is not about just temple and deities and places. No. The Dham is Dham because a pure devotee lives there. A pure devotee lives there. That is why it becomes a Dham. And Prabhupada further writes, if anyone visits a holy place, he must search out the pure devotees residing in such holy places, take lessons from them, try to apply such instructions in practical life, and thus gradually prepare oneself for the ultimate salvation, going back to God. So we should, if you go to temple, if you go to Vrindavan, there are many people who come, and there's so much rush to go into the temple, especially go to like whatever the Bake Bihar temple. We were stuck there, and even breathing was so difficult. Your pressure is so much, extremely difficult. We had to go out of that, so we cannot stay here because we are trying to go to some other place, but the map showed a short route through this, and we did not know. So we're stuck. So point is that instead of spending time in this queue and all those things, go to meet some sadhu. You speak 2-3 things, and our life can be perfected by that. So taking shelter of a sadhu in Dham is the most important thing that we should do. Whenever the devotees are traveling, they say, Prabhuji, which all temple I should go? Please tell me, all those things. In fact, we should find out that which all great devotees reside in Dham that I want to take darshan. So if you go to Vrindavan, we can go and meet sadhus there. So many sadhus are living in Vrindavan. Every corner there is some pure devotee who's doing their bhajan. We can do some service to them, some menial service, cleaning, all the small things. We'll get a lot of blessings, and our spiritual journey can it can accelerate very quickly. So serving sadhu, listening from them is very important, especially when we go to the dham. So Prabhupada is therefore is giving this instruction that we should visit these places, visit these great devotees. Further, Prabhupada writes, to go to some holy place or pilgrimage does not mean only to take bath in Ganges or Yamuna or to visit temples situated in those places. One should also find representatives of Vidura who have no desire in life save and accept or to serve the personality of Godhead. So you're saying that devotees like Vidur are exist in all the Dham. Everywhere you go, you will have this pure devotees living in there. And if we take shelter of them, if we go and inquire about what can I do, I'm not able to chant, I have this difficulty, this anartha is not leaving us. I have these questions when we ask, we can request them to pray for us. This all can benefit a lot. It's huge benefit. As we know, without Vaishnava's mercy, even Krishna's mercy won't come. Only when Krishna gets a petition from another Vaishnava about us, we get mercy. Otherwise, on our own effort, we cannot get Krishna. Impossible. It's not there. Every Shastra says that. So, Narottam Das Thakur writes very nice bhajan. So, let's recite these two lines which is there. Gangar parasha hoile pashate pavana. Everybody. Gangar parasha hoile pashate pavana. Darshane pavitra karo ei tomara guna. तुम्हारा हृदय सदा गोविंद विश्राम गोविंद को है नमोरा वैष्णव पराण So let's read this now. This is so important. See exactly what Prabhupada is writing here. Prabhupada is writing from all the scriptures and putting this in words. But how the reference is coming is wonderful. Okay, Mataji, can you read? Puja Mataji?
After bathing in the waters of sacred Ganges, many times one becomes purified. But just by the sight of you, the fallen souls are purified. This is your great power.
Hare Krishna. See, these Vaishnavas are so powerful. They are even more powerful than the waters of Ganges. Why? If you have to take bath in Ganges, what happens? Can we do it here? Where we have to go? India. But last week, what happened? Walking Bhagavad came here. He says Gauranga Darshan Prabhu and gave all of us such nice darshan and katha, isn't it? He came to give darshan. Just by seeing him, we can see so much vibration, positive vibrations. It's unbelievable. He's a walking Bhagavad. So he came. Did he put any efforts? Did he book his flight? Nothing. He just came. Somebody made arrangement, of course. But for all of us, we just got his association, isn't it? He's so wonderful. So they are so powerful. Just by coming in contact with these great devotees, our consciousness can purify. So therefore, they are more powerful than waters of Ganges, right? And what they do? Okay, yes, Vijay, can you read this?
Your heart is always the resting place of Lord Govinda, and Lord Govinda says, the Vaishnavas are in my heart.
Hare Krishna. So he says, your heart means the devotee's heart. Always carry Lord Govinda. Lord Krishna is always in their heart. What is that in our? Our heart has got so many anarthas. At least my heart has got so many anarthas, so many desires unfulfilled. That's what we carry all the time. But here, what the pure devotee carry, they always carry only Krishna. They're always thinking of Krishna, how to please him, how can I serve him. That's the only thing they have in their heart. And therefore, what Krishna carries in his heart, all this Vaishnavas, right? So this is so beautiful. So therefore, if you want to get mercy of Krishna, what we should take? First, mercy of the devotee. We get it and then Krishna will accept. Even if we are imperfect, Krishna will accept us. No, because I have got petition from them, I'll take it. So therefore, serving Vaishnavas, taking darshan of Vaishnava is so important. Very, very important. And we should never miss an opportunity to associate with the great devotees who come. Because we are not going to go there. Like suppose if we go to India, how many of us will be able to meet Gauranga Prabhu? Very difficult. Because there he'll be surrounded in a place of so many devotees, no difficult to get. But here he walks into our homes and then we can get his darshan very easily, isn't it? So therefore, this association is extremely important, dear devotees. We should all be meeting regularly. Missing on association means we are trying to meet with Maya. It can be very fatal in our life. Meeting with devotee will remind us of Krishna. Devotee always think of Krishna. So this is what Prabhupada is saying, that when we go to Dham, we should always try to take shelter of all the great devotees who live in the Dham and not doing anything else. Of course, we should take darshan and all that, which is also important. But the highest priority should be given. Even if you can't go to some temple, no problem. If you meet some sadhu, if their drashti falls on us, it can purify us. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes the three levels of Vaishnava, right? What is the lowest level? One who has chanted Hare Krishna. Second is one who is constantly chanting Hare Krishna. And highest is, but what he does?
Just see and.
By seeing them, we start chanting. Now, if Amrenda Prabhu is here, and do you think some of us will keep talking? Hare Prabhuji, kya hua office mein? What happened? Did you speak? No. Why? This is a pure Vaishnava. So you're talking, Prabhuji, can you tell me what happened in this past time? Automatically those questions comes, isn't it? Why? Because a pure devotee has come. So therefore, this purity they bring in their life is so high. And we should not ignore this. Very important. So that's what Prabhupada mentions, how important it is to associate the devotees, especially when we go to the dham. So whenever next time anybody is leaving, going, meet the sadhus there. That's a lesson we can learn. Yeah. Okay. So here, some point about Dwarkavasi, because Yudhishthira Maharaj feel that you must have gone to Dwarka since you went from Hastinapur. So please tell us something about. So let's read this verse. Apina Suridas Tata Bandava Krishna Devata Desta Shruta Vayadva Sapuryam Sukham Asate. Yes, Pilasu, can you read?
My uncle, you must have visited Dwarka. In that holy place are our friends and well-wishers, the descendants of Yadu, who were always wrapped in the service of the Lord Sri Krishna. You might have seen them or heard about them. Are they all living happily in their abode? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So he is further inquiring that you must have gone there. So what happens there? Right? When our parent come, Hare, what happened to that Masi? Everybody is fine in this village, it's good, all those things, Simple talk, but basically we are trying to understand how others, our extended relatives are doing. So Yudhishthira Maharaj having the same inquiry, and what the Yadavas are doing, what Krishna is doing, what's happening in the Dwarka. That's his inquiry. So here, Prabhupada writes a few things here. The particular word Krishna Devata, that is those who are always wrapped in the service of Krishna, is significant. Dwarkavas is always thinking of Krishna only all the time. When Krishna was in Vrindavan, all the Vrindavan is thinking only of Krishna. What to do for Krishna. Even when the gopis goes to Nanda Bhavan to complain about Krishna, basically they go to see Krishna. That today I have not seen, let me go and complain, at least that way I can see Krishna. Right? They make nice butter so that Krishna come and steal in their home. See, this is all love that they show. Then let me make nice butter so that Krishna will get attracted and come in our home to steal. So when he comes and steal, I will see him, and then I will go and complain. Then I can again see him. This is how the gopis have. There's so much love they have for Krishna. Without seeing, they feel so much, they feel suffocated. Like especially gopis are describing that who is the fool who made these eyelids. Because when I close it, one time I miss, it's like millions of years that I have missed Krishna. And why he made two eyes? We should have million eyes. They are saying like that. Because they have so much love for Krishna. So Dwarka also have so much love for Krishna, always want to see Krishna. The Yadavas and the Pandavas, who were significant, who were always wrapped in the thought of the Lord Krishna and his different transcendental activities, were all pure devotees of the Lord like we do. Everybody were like a pure devotees. So the question may come, why do calamities come in pure devotees' life? If they are pure devotees, they should not have any difficulties. So calamity comes because of two reasons in pure devotees' life. One is because Krishna wants to glorify those devotees. That despite calamities coming, despite reversals comes in their life, they don't forget me. They still take my shelter. Like Pandavas, so many calamities, so many unfavorable things in their life, but they never left shelter of Krishna. So they are great devotees. So through that, Krishna teaches us that great devotees means they will do anything for me. And they teaches us that we should also take shelter like that. Sometimes Krishna will show mercy on devotees, and sometimes Krishna will be very harsh on the devotee also. For a little mistake, finished. Any example? Little mistake and finished. It's very insignificant mistake, but Krishna will give big punishment. And the chapter we are reading, Parikshit Maharaj, what an insignificant mistake he made, like putting a dead snake on a. It's not. And Krishna made him curse that he will die in 7 days. Or Bapre. Isn't it big thing? 7 days. It's like, our car got dashed to somebody and somebody says, now you have to pay $1 million. Arre, इसमें तो कार भी आ जाएगा. But this is how it is. A small mistake, but you big punishment. Similarly, Chitraketu Maharaj, he had darshan of Krishna, but he made one mistake and then he was punished to become a demon. So small mistake, but big punishment. So Krishna also teaches through this. And then sometime devotee may make big mistake. Krishna will forgive. Like Kalia did big mistake. But Krishna, okay, ठीक है, चलो, जाओ, यहाँ से निकल जाओ, I will not kill you. So like that, Krishna can show us both the sides. His compassion and his strictness on certain things. And this is how Krishna is teaching through all his leelas, that how we should perfect our life in this lifetime. And this is what we call as taking shelter of Bhagavatam, that learning from various pastimes and how we can implement those in our lives, that is taking shelter of Bhagavatam. Because we may become scholar by reading, but if we don't implement these teachings in our life, then what's the point, right? That won't help. So further Prabhupada writes here, thus there is no difference in their pure devotional qualities, meaning those Pandavas and Yadavas who are always in rapt attention of Krishna. So there is no difference between them. Either remaining at home or leaving home, the real qualification of a pure devotee is to become wrapped in the thought of Krishna favorably. That is knowing well that Krishna is the absolute personality of Godhead. But if you do it other way also, like you may remember Krishna, but in a negative way, like Kamsa, Jarasan, Shishupal, they all were thinking about Krishna day and night, but they were thinking how to kill him. They had envy towards Krishna. So that is not favorable. That's why Prabhupada said we should remember Krishna in a favorable way. Favorable way. This is very important. Maharaj Yudhishthira was also always wrapped in the thought of Lord Krishna and his associates at Dwarka. Otherwise, he could not have asked all about them from Vidur. Only when we love someone, we ask about it, isn't it? Otherwise, we will not ask. So, this is the love that Maharaj Yudhishthira has for all the Dwarkavasis, and therefore he's asking their well-being. And further, Prabhupada writes that Maharaj Yudhishthira was the same level of Vidur, though Vidur had renounced himself, and Maharaj Yudhishthira was still a Grihastha. but he was at the same level in terms of spirituality because he was detached. Yudhishthira Maharaj was completely detached. He has no attachment towards his kingdom. And we have seen it, like either when he was a king, the throne was taken away, he was in forest, no problem at all. He was not agitated at all in any circumstances. So that's how we all Grihasthas can learn that how we can perfect our life, especially learning from Maharaj Yudhishthira. Let's go to next. So Vidur related everything about this. So let's read these verses 12 and 13. इति युक्तो धर्मराजेन सर्वं तत् समवर्णयत् यथानुभूतं क्रमशो विनायदु कुलक्षयम्. Yes, we can read.
Thus being questioned by Maharaj Yudhishthira, Mahatma Vidur gradually described everything he had personally experienced, except news of the annihilation of the Yadu dynasty.
Hare Krishna. So, see, he is not giving the bad news. He's only telling, yeah, they're all good. He's giving his experience. When I went there, this is what happened. They welcomed me very nicely. They gave me this prasad. They made me stay here. All these things are being discussed. But Yadu dynasty was annihilated, so he's not speaking about that. So when we go also, we should be talking in a pleasing way, right? Even if there is a bad news, can be given in a pleasing way, right? Bad news need not be given in an unpleasing way. It can be given in a pleasing way. So this is what we could learn here. Let's go to verse number 30. Nanva priyam druvishaham drunam swayam upasthitam navedayat sakaruno Dukhitan drustum akshamaha. Yes, Vishakama.
Translation. Compassionate Mahatma Vidura could not stand to see the Pandavas distressed at any time. Therefore, he did not disclose this unplantable and unbearable incidents because calamities come of their own accord.
So see, just he loves Pandavas so much that he did not want to disclose that news, and that they will feel so much agitation in their heart. So Vidur is not telling them. Anyway, this will be known someday, and nothing can be done about it. What will you do? So this is the compassion of a devotee towards another devotee, that he is not disclosing this particular point. Now, sometimes this question may come in our life, but then we have to give this news somewhere. Something happened, or then what we do? We can do it in a more palatable way, which is based on a time, place, circumstances. This needs to be decided. That we should use our buddhi, intelligence, saying that which is the best way I can communicate this message, right? And that way this can be communicated, some messages. So Prabhupada writes in a purport, according to Niti Shastra, one should not speak an unpalatable truth to cause distress to others. Distress comes upon us in its own way by the laws of nature. So one should not aggravate it by propaganda. Sometimes people make propaganda to tell messages. For in a social media today, you see so many videos. You see, you will all get agitated by seeing them. You will always have some negative bias about someone. Therefore, we should avoid seeing those things. The more we see, our mind will always remain agitated. Those thoughts will come in our mind. And for a compassionate soul like Vidur, especially in his dealings with the beloved Pandavas, it was almost impossible to disclose an unpalatable piece of news like the annihilation of the Yadu dynasty. Therefore, he purposely refrained from it. So it's such an important point which is Viduri is showing here. This is coming under same Vacho Vegam. Again, how to control our tongue, how to speak nicely. Satyam Bruyat, Priyam Bruyat. Speak the truth, but in a pleasing way. Don't speak even the truth which is unpleasing, which can agitate the mind of the listener. So if you have to take away from today's class something, then we can take away this particular austerity that we should all cultivate in our life. That how can we speak truth? How can we speak truth in a pleasing way? How can we make sure that we don't speak truth which is unpleasing? First of all, we should not speak which is untrue. This is very important. We should avoid that. Right? Come what may. Very difficult to achieve this, isn't it? Because every day, every moment, you're trying to make something. You're late for a meeting. Yeah, I want to hear something. Something happens. But yeah, try to be truthful in our life and speak in a very pleasing way. This is a very important point that we can take away from today's class. Because if you see, there are so many verses which are talking only specifically emphasizing this particular point. So therefore it is. So now the theme is going to change, So Vidura's purpose for staying in Hastinapur will come. So I don't know how many words we can cover. I think we'll stop here because we'll cover the whole thing together. Otherwise, we'll miss out some points. And these 4 verses we may not be able to cover in today's class. But we'll pause here and I will share something from the visit of His Darshan, Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So anybody has any question?
That unpalatable news point I want to make sure I understand. So is it to not disclose like this, they should know from somewhere else, or say it in a manner that will not hurt them, but it's a news that will hurt no matter what?
Yeah, so one is that the news will anyway reach to them somewhere, today, tomorrow. Either we are the disclosure of the news or somebody else, it matters. Now, we have to use our intelligence, what news to disclose and when and how. How part is very important, right? How we disclose that. So Vivek Buddhi is to be applied and find out at what news I should disclose, in which way, which will help them understand the situation. Instead of directly telling something which will agitate their mind, which will create distress in their mind, that's something we should not do. Something which can delay and then communicate later is also fine. But it is again time, place, and circumstances. This situation can apply. So we can do that way. Like when my nani, my mother's mother passed away, and obviously news has to come to me. I loved her so much, and she loved me so much. All the cousins that I had, we had a very great, wonderful relationship. So my father had to tell me that your grandma is no more. So it was very difficult for them to tell that. How do I tell? And I was like 15, 16 years at that time. Not 15, 16, not that time. It was after marriage, right? It was 15, 16 years ago. It's not when I was 15, 16 years ago it happened. Yeah, so about 15 years ago. So my father had to tell, so he was telling me that how my nanny was so great, how she was, although he was telling stories that she was very fine, kind. And then, I was telling old age things happen and all that. I was not getting point at that time, but still. So basically, he built that story saying that, things will happen. And then he told that, okay, now she is no more and we are traveling tomorrow morning, first thing. So like that, we have to tell in a way that Of course, I got a shock, but it was like a mild shock. If you had told immediately that your man is no more, then I would have like, oh. But then he told me that anybody who takes birth has to leave, and at old age these things can happen. And he told me good things about my nan, all those things. So those things help. So similarly, when we have to tell the truth, we have to use this principle. The yardstick should be applied what the scripture says. But again, our intelligence must be applied at that time. Okay, what is the correct thing to do at this point in time? And then we can say that is not possible. Or we can delay it. Or we can ask somebody else to say it. Multiple ways to do it. Yeah. Okay. So now I'll stop sharing. Stop. So let me speak few things about visits from Gauranga Vishnu Prabhuji.